So, if you're a fan of cooking, you definitely know Samin Nosrat. Her first book, Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, it totally changed the game for, like, millions of us. It taught us how to think about cooking. But her new book, Good Things, well, this one is different. It's all about changing how we feel about it. This isn't just another cookbook, you guys. It's really a story about how to find joy even when it feels totally lost. So, let's dive in. Now, to really understand what this book is all about, you have to know where it came from. And honestly, it came from a really dark place for Samin. I mean, imagine this. You achieve everything you've ever dreamed of. You're at the top of your game. And then, suddenly, the one thing you love most, for her, cooking, it just feels impossible. And I mean, in her own words, she says the joy was just gone. And look, this wasn't just some run-of-the-mill creative block. No, this was a symptom of a much, much deeper crisis. She talks about a clinical depression that, as she puts it, swallowed me whole. So really, this book, it's the story of how she literally cooked her way back to life. Okay, so let's be clear. This is not one of those cookbooks designed to help you make super fancy, complicated dishes to impress your friends. Nope. It's about something way more fundamental. It's about the search for belonging. And for Samin, that whole search kicked off way before she was ever famous. And it all started with a simple cake. And the story behind this cake it's just fascinating. For decades, I'm talking 30 years, Samin was obsessed with one thing, recreating that classic yellow box cake with chocolate frosting. But why? I mean, she's this incredible chef, right? Well, for her, that cake represented the normal American childhood she felt like she never had. It was this symbol of belonging, a taste of what it felt like to just fit. So you see, this whole quest wasn't about culinary perfection. It was about finding her place at the table. All right, so let's fast forward a few years. Samin isn't just a cook anymore. She's a global phenomenon, a household name. But here's the twist. Achieving that dream created this huge paradox that she never, ever saw coming. I mean, think about it. She'd done it. Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat wasn't just a book. It was a cultural event. Bestseller list? Check. Hit Netflix series? You bet. James Beard Award? Of course. By every single outside measure, she was on top of the world. This was the moment she had worked her entire life for. But that success, it didn't bring happiness. It brought this deep, profound emptiness. All the pressure, the constant travel, being disconnected from her own kitchen, it all just led to a breaking point. And that left her with a huge question. How do you find your way back when you've lost the thing you love? And the answer, when it came, was all about a fundamental shift in perspective. Samin had this realization that the true value of cooking, it's not in the fancy final dish you put on the table. It's in the process. It's not about the recipe, she realized, it's about the ritual. So she started to see recipes in a whole new light. They weren't just rigid sets of rules to follow. They were rituals, passed down through generations, you know? A recipe connects you to history, to memories, to that whole sensory experience of just making something. It becomes a way to transform not just the ingredients, but maybe, just maybe, yourself too. And this whole idea is just brilliantly captured in her recipe for forever popcorn. Okay, it's just popcorn, right? But the ritual behind it makes it something else. First, you grind up nutritional yeast and salt into the super fine powder so it clings to every single kernel. Then you use a specific combo of high heat oils to get it perfectly crisp. And then, and this is key, you shake it like your life depends on it. It's that mindful, intentional process that turns a simple snack into a true good thing. And this philosophy, it totally extends to her ingredients. It's all about quality and intention. She'll be the first to tell you there is no substitute for real Parmigiano Reggiano, or that the most important thing on a bottle of olive oil isn't the brand, it's the harvest date. And look, this isn't about being a food snob or being fussy. It's about honoring that ritual by using the very best stuff you can find. But, the biggest breakthrough of all, it didn't happen when she was alone perfecting a recipe. It happened when she finally got the courage to share her imperfections with other people. That's when she discovered that the real antidote to her loneliness was a shared table. And believe it or not, it all started with a failed pork braise. One day, when she was right in the thick of her depression, Samin was struggling with this recipe. It just kept failing over and over. And with every failure, she felt more and more alone. just stuck there with 6 pounds of pork that she thought was totally ruined. And then she gets a text from a friend. Samin just confesses everything, tells her about the failed dish. And her friend Sarah makes this simple, super casual offer that literally changed everything. She just said, well, we'll help you eat it. And Samin said she received that simple offer like a vial of life-saving elixir. Wow. So that one meal of not-so-perfect pork tacos, it turned into another one, and then another. And pretty soon it became this weekly ritual, Monday dinner. It was this consistent, life-sustaining get-together where all the pressure was just off. Sometimes they'd cook these big, elaborate meals, and other times they just ordered pizza. And that right there, that became the central lesson of this whole journey. Community is the most important ingredient. It's not about what's on the plate. It's about who's around the table. That ritual and the community that built up around it became the absolute heart of her life and her cooking. And this whole philosophy is literally baked right into the book. You get these recipes like pane criminale, which is this garlic bread so loaded with butter and herbs and cheese that it's like almost illegal. It's not some delicate, fussy thing. It's a big, generous, pull-apart loaf that is just begging to be shared. So what does all this mean for us, right? Well, the book's core message is actually pretty simple. Joy isn't something you find in these big, grand, perfect moments. No. It's found in adding up all the small, good things, especially when they're shared with the people you love. And the best part is, these things don't have to be complicated at all. Samin shows us how to find these moments everywhere, like a simple smear of whipped ricotta on a piece of good toast, or a bowl of chilled melon with a little mint before dinner, that amazing forever popcorn we were just talking about, even just a beautiful winter citrus salad with nothing but good olive oil and some flaky salt. These are the small gestures of care that really make a life feel full. So in the end, Good Things is so much more than a cookbook. It's really a guide to rediscovering joy in those simple rituals of making and sharing food. It's this powerful reminder that even when things feel completely broken, a simple meal can be the very first step toward putting them back together. And so, as we wrap this up, the book leaves all of us with a pretty simple but really powerful question. It's not about what kind of masterpiece you can cook. It's about what small moment of connection you can create. So I'll leave you with this. What good thing can you share this week?